All I gotta say is it sure doesn't feel like I got a lot of work done this week, but I sure am tired. Stay tuned. Well, we got some work done here in the selective soldering room. Probably doesn't look much different than the last time I showed it off, but yeah, we've done a little work. We put a third coat of mud up on the upper part of the wall, well, the whole walls. I finished the third coat today, but all the walls have had a third coat of mud. So they're relatively smooth. We'll just knock off the dingleberries, these kind of things that are hanging out on the walls and the ridges. We'll do a light sanding that way with a drywall knife, and then we'll go back and see if there's any other areas we need to hit a fourth time, just little grooves or anything. And then we'll sand, we'll be ready to sand and prime and paint. Still haven't finished the drywall. Still haven't finished the insulation up here. Hopefully get to do that on Monday, and also prep to paint the insulation. Hopefully gonna paint that on Tuesday. So here in a few days, we'll hopefully have a black ceiling. The little forklift is put all back together and running smoothly with a new radiator, a new water pump, new fan blade, and etc. So it's good to go, which is great because we haven't taken our trash out for a week, because the only way to get the trash out is with a forklift, partly because, well, the forklift carries this out, but my overhead door is broken, so I have to open it with the forklift, prop it open, grab the trash, etc. The other thing that hasn't been done is we haven't had service in our porta potty in a couple of weeks, and it sure needs it. So hopefully on Monday we'll get that done because it smells. I spent some time this week framing out the old staircase opening. So up here is where the staircase used to be. I framed it out with reclaimed lumber from the old mezzanine. So it's not as thick, or not as tall, I should say, as the current lumber that's up there. That stuff is crazy, crazy tall, crazy big lumber. But it looks relatively good. And then here's where that dumbwaiter was. I need to tweak it a little bit so it doesn't look as funky. It kind of looks a little funky, and I figured out how I'm gonna do that to mirror what it looks like over here. But we got that all taken care of. And then over here, we've opened this up. This wasn't framed in really well. I'm thinking this used to be an original staircase, is what we're thinking this used to be. So we ripped out the framing on this today, and I'm gonna frame it up the same way I did the other places next week, and then it will be ready to go. I'm prepping to pressure wash all these boards so we can kind of put this area to rest from a cleaning standpoint. There's still a few things we need to clean up in like that conduit strap up there and some other things, but for the most part, we can get this cleaned up, get it pressure washed, and then it'll look great. Hopefully, that's the plan. So this is what the space looks like where I framed in and filled in. Kind of looks a little funky because these are new 1x10s, because I didn't have original 1x10s to replace them with. Now, hopefully you weren't able to tell that on the back side or the underside, because I stained them dark to mirror what the original boards look like, because once again, that ceiling will be open, and so people will be able to look up and see that. Normally we would have filled this in with plywood or just something, but since we're gonna see that, I wanted to make it look original, at least from the bottom. Here's a long board I replaced, and then here's an opening, which I need to put some 1x10s in. And then there's some scraps from my 1x10s. And then here's my big opening looking down from on top. So that's what's going on here at Fireboard headquarters remodel. I've had some help, which has been kind of fun. We've partnered with OneSource, a temp agency, and they've sent us some help. We had Edward for a few days, and now I've had Michael. Michael's good. I like working with Michael. The only problem with Michael is that he's afraid of heights. I don't know how that's gonna work since 90% of the work I have for him is working off my scissor lift. So we'll see, maybe I can scare that fear out of him or just have him do some stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff that's not up in the air, so I may have to figure out, I did figure out I have some staining to do and some other things, so maybe we can get him to do that. And he seemed to be okay at lower heights, but when I took him, I tried to have him help me here behind me in the barrel roof to staple down that insulation a little better, and he freaked out a little bit, so I don't know if that's going to work. So we'll see what happens there. But it was good to have some help, some manual labor help, and etc. to help just get some stuff done around here. So that's what's going on here. Thanks for watching, and we'll check you on the other side. Thanks again.